Welcome to our new podcast, Etopia, talking all about the toys category, the industry, trying to dive into some of the more specific details that we see in toys. And today we wanted to get into around TikTok and Amazon, social commerce, why toy brands specifically now can't be ignoring TikTok. It feels like it's something that's been on the cards for a while, and now we're seeing it really come through.
I work for Ticket, and I'm the e-commerce manager. And for us, it's the market of toys is I'd say we're kind of on the edge of toys and educational toys. So for us, it's kind of pushing that educational value for parents and making sure that obviously they can learn through play. So pushing anything through socials and especially TikTok is going to be key for us to make sure we push that message across, not only to the kids that they can have fun while learning, but obviously the adults that are going to kind of catch up on that and watch that as well. That actually we're a brand and a toy brand that everyone can enjoy.
Yeah, and I guess something that's different for Ticket for me is the fact around that educational toy element, right? It's not as easy as just seeing a toy online and knowing exactly what it is and how it works. There's a much bigger message behind it, and getting that across to consumers, I guess, in one of the best formats is probably video.
Exactly,
so
yeah.
Using TikTok in that sense is probably really good for you guys to drive that traffic to Amazon. So what benefits at this stage do you see from using TikTok to drive Amazon? We're seeing obviously more buzz around TikTok at the moment. Have you seen that change over the last kind of 6 to 12 months?
Yeah, it's been massive. It's kind of if you're watching TikTok straight away, you want to go and you can make a purchase, an impulse purchase for what you're watching. And that's what we've kind of seen quite a lot through, especially the last 6 months, with the integration into Amazon and TikTok. It's kind of gone a bit crazy. We're showing people how to use our products, what you can use them with, because they're not just standalone products, and trying to create that buzz that actually it's, the educational value of our products is much bigger than having kids sit down and learn in that sense. They can actually enjoy themselves and play and do things that they want to do, and that they're getting something out of it.
Yeah, and I guess it's a little bit different with Amazon in the sense that Amazon feels like it's been kind of that long-term brand building element for it still is. Amazon is about that long-term brand building, but you mentioned there about trends, and TikTok is very much about trends, and it's about the velocity that's coming through with the trends. So something like a sensory product, for example, can go viral overnight, and then tomorrow could be top search term on Amazon or top product that's ranking on Amazon. And like you said, that's pretty new. That's not what we were seeing a few years ago. So let's kind of get into the details of what actually happens when a toy or a game can go viral on TikTok. What would you typically see?
It's the buzz. It's certainly something that you can kind of see people's visit rates to our website, to Amazon, increase massively to a single product or a range of products, and then you can see the purchase rate of those products kind of go through the roof, and you sometimes you catch it late. You could be a few hours into it and realize what's happened, and then you're kind of searching and going back going, right, how did that happen? Where did that start? And sometimes you do have to go right, actually it's come from TikTok. That's someone has created a story for us. It might not even be us, it might be one of our influencers created a story, and it's just kind of gone crazy and gone wild, and people have picked up on it and gone, actually we want that. It could be a great summer product that we had 4 or 5 weeks ago, where you then struggle to kind of keep Amazon in stock. We then struggle to keep in stock at the same time, and you're kind of going, right, how do we keep on top of it now? Like where do we keep pushing this, and how do we keep our customers happy that, you know, everything's going to be in stock, and you kind of are playing a little bit of catch up, not knowing that it was going to be as viral as it's come through.
Which is a win, right?
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
you're getting what you wanted, but you, I guess, how do you manage that? How does Ticket manage that? If a product does go viral or works really well on TikTok and you suddenly see a huge increase in traffic and in sales, and then like you said, you've got a stock problem, and we know that Amazon is reliant on having stock in and consistency. So how do you personally manage that, Ashley?
So for us, it's a case of speaking to. We always have purchase orders open anyway, especially with lines that we think will sell well. And you know, thankfully this was one of those lines. So then we're in contact with the factory, and rather than, you know, putting things on a boat to ship over, we're getting them flown in, to make sure that we're getting the stock in quick enough, so that we can kind of then catch up with purchase orders, through to Amazon, or, you know, through to our own website. So you feel like you're on the back foot. It feels quite difficult at times, but you know that, you know, for as long as you've got the stock, and you can keep getting the stock, you know, you just kind of need to hope that it continues in that way. And yeah, you have to ride the wave, as some say. You know, that viral bit will die down. It won't be viral forever, but you have to ride that wave and really take it, and make sure that you can keep everyone in stock, and keep everyone, you know, on board with it. So
yeah, I can imagine keeping everyone in stock is probably your biggest challenge.
Yeah, we'd have to pick and choose.
Yeah.
You know, there are certain times you go, actually, you know, you can't have, you know, a full 40-foot container of our product. You know, we do have to kind of share it out. So yeah, so that does happen.
And okay, I want to go back to the Amazon element a minute. So we mentioned about if TikTok goes viral, you know, naturally it pushes through to Amazon, to other, you know, D2C, etc. too. But when you're looking specifically at Amazon, how important are your product pages, like consistently? So if we're talking about now, you don't know what product is going to go viral, if a product is going to be viral. But how important are your listings in terms of in case that happens?
Oh, massively. They need to be tip top. You know, we need to have decent imagery in there, all your keywords, A+ pages, and if it's one that's kind of caught you off guard, you need to be able to react quickly, and make sure that, you know, you are getting the right images on there, getting the right product title, you know, your keywords, your bullet points, and creating an A+ page to kind of back up all that information, and give your customers that are shopping on Amazon absolute confidence that they are buying a product that is going to last. You know, it's not going to be, even though it's gone viral on TikTok, it's not a 5-minute product. It's gonna last for a while. You know, it's gonna last for several years. It's built well, and creating those A+ pages anyway, you know, should be part and parcel. But like I said, if you're caught off guard with a product that isn't quite there yet on Amazon's page, you need to be able to react quickly, and have the information there ready to go.
Yeah, we talk about the Amazon flywheel, but I think there's a bigger flywheel that we need to be taken into consideration. Like TikTok is driving that discovery, Amazon's driving the conversion, which is then pushing visibility recommendations. So even if it's not the product that's gone viral, you might be appearing in the customers also brought section or something which is highlighting another product. And if you're not catching all of that A+, there can be a problem, or all of the listings, there can be a problem. Something that I think is quite interesting is the shift in who's shopping, and I think this will relate very much to ticket products as well. Obviously, we've got Gen Z, millennial parents that are on TikTok, and they trust it, rightfully or wrongly, and they're searching things like best toys for 3-year-olds, and they're kind of using it on TikTok to find the content that they like. Are they the same sort of trends to what you're seeing on your side?
Yeah, I think so. You know, our market has always been parents, and for us it's from birth all the way through until 7, 8, 9. There's a lot of products in our range that will focus on 0 to 3-year-olds. And I think if they're searching on TikTok for something and they find a product, buying it through Amazon just gives them a bit of confidence.
Yeah.
Especially, in light of recent news of, counterfeits and things not quite, going to plan with TikTok Shop. Coming through a reputable brand and buying it from Amazon in that sense is only going to help. And it just gives them a bit of confidence and they know then that what they're buying is legit. So it's always, it's a funny one. You kind of have to be careful with those, especially on TikTok and what you're buying. But I think if you're on TikTok and buy it through Amazon, or go and search it on Amazon afterwards, there's confidence there, and that there's should anything happen.
Yeah, you've got the trusted. Amazon's a huge retailer.
That's it. Yeah, the biggest business on the internet. So
yeah. I think exactly that. It's the discovery is coming from TikTok. I think TikTok Shop is working well for quick wins. So bundles, limited time offers, impulse buys, and the low ASP items. But really, especially in your category and ticket, you're trying to educate through TikTok.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. TikTok, I think the other thing is you can test probably more creatives on TikTok versus Amazon, because the audience is different and you can drive that traffic through. Okay, so Ashley, what's one thing that you think a toy brand should be doing right now to connect TikTok and Amazon?
To connect TikTok and Amazon, or why should they? Why should they connect them?
Yeah, both. If you want to give me an answer for both, I'll take it.
Well, first they need to connect because one, it's all about being in the right place. And if you're not on TikTok or you're not on Amazon, then you're missing a huge market, and you're missing people that potentially could find your product, buy your product, talk about your product, and push your product. So that'd be why.
Should we be optimizing more towards the TikTok viewer? So how important is mobile friendly content? How important is video content? Because historically, I don't think brands have paid as much attention to those types of things on Amazon. It's kind of been a nice to have.
Yeah, the visuals on Amazon, are relatively plain, but having the video content on TikTok, it creates a different dimension, and it's creating, it's showing how the products can be used in certain settings. So our target market being the parents, we need to show how our products are being used in the home, in a nursery. This is what your child, is going to do. They can play with it in nursery, and this is what happens. This is what they're doing. This is how they enjoy it. And you can take that product into the home and use it in a different way, but still get a very similar learning from it. And it's all about encouragement. So, we need to prove through video, which is much easier to do through video than through a still. You can prove that it does work. Kids do enjoy it, and you can see that from their faces and the way they're playing with the toys. That you need to be there. You need to kind of have that video element, which isn't always possible on Amazon's pages, unless you physically go and find it.
Yeah, I agree, and I don't think historically brands have put as much investment into that area. Whereas we know things are changing now with AI, etc. It's much easier to put these videos together. So I would hope to see more brands adopting mobile first and video first strategies moving forward. I also think with keywords as well, like things trend quickly. I don't know if you see this when you look at search reports. What do you do with that data when you're seeing those trends?
You, if they're quick trends, you have to react. You know, we've got a little team that checks the data and we're going, right, hang on a minute, where do we go with that? What do we do? How do we deal with it? You know, and we speak to Etopia as well and be like, right, let's, you know, this is the trend that's coming through. And you know, it could be coming from us, it could be coming from, you know, from you guys. This is what's happening. How do we react to that? And it needs to be quick and it needs to be, you know, direct.
Yeah.
You need to be able to make a decision quickly and say, right, actually, let's go with it. You know, a lot of people are now searching for, you know, sensory toys or, you know, toys for ADHD, you know, those types of things. And we need to be able to get that content right first time, because if you don't get it first time, then you'll be missed.
Yeah.
And you know, yeah, it's just kind of that whole reaction. You need to be able to kind of react quick, get it updated and push through, so that you can still be found for those relevant search terms and, you know, the ones that are trending. As we know, they don't trend forever.
Yeah.
So
and it's a really good point. I think you should always have a long-term strategy on Amazon, we know.
Yeah.
You have to be able to pivot quickly for those terms or trends that do come up, because there might be a competitor brand of yours that goes viral for a product and that search term still might trend. So you're going to gain from that. So unless you're able to make those changes quite quickly and, like you say, jump on the trend, be reactive, you're going to miss potentially a halo effect that could also have a really positive effect on your business as well.
Yeah.
So basically, speed is the advice here.
Yeah, massively. And that's obviously not just on Amazon, it's on all your platforms, and your social platforms. You know, you need to be able to react quickly to those, and push that same message out. You know, we all want to be found, and we, you know, as you say, if one of our competitors is trending for a product that's similar to ours, then, you know, we need to be we need to be there. You know, we can't just kind of go, oh, you know, they've done it, let's see if we can do it. It's, you know, let's ride the wave with them.
Yeah, I completely agree. Now, in the toy space, I think things have changed significantly over the years, in the sense that, you know, a lot of budget used to go more into traditional TV ads rather than Amazon or DSP or just digital ads. I guess the difference now is with things like TikTok, where we're using that educational video element, but essentially we have a lot more data around who's seeing it and where it's going. So I guess my final question to you is, what do you think the future of toy brands on TikTok and Amazon is?
It's going to be huge, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's I say it worries me, in that sense that with kids having phones now and being on TikTok,
Yeah.
You know, the impact that you can have on them is going to be massive.
And scary.
Yeah, and scary. Massively scary. So it's going to be, and let's say the parents that we're kind of targeting, you need to kind of come across to them as the best you can. It's only going to grow between TikTok and Amazon, and you know, the bigger that those platforms grow, the more people are going to be on them. You know, the more advertising that you're going to want to do on those platforms. You're going to need to stand out. Your content's going to need to be better. There's a whole host of things that grow with it. But it's certainly a platform that you can't ignore.
Yeah.
You really can't ignore it now. It might have been one, you know, a year or two ago, where you're going, it's just a bit of a fad. You know, it's going to die off again. But it hasn't. I think as long as there's confidence in people using it, then it will continue to grow, you know, as quick as it has done already. Yeah, and toys will only get bigger on there as kids will want to, you know.
Yeah.
Kids will want to play with the toys that everyone else is playing with.
Yeah, exactly.
And they'll, you know, we know from previous viral videos it's like especially through YouTube and things like that, that actually, you know, unwrapping a toy is, you know, just gets as good of reaction as
Yeah,
playing with it,
it's
which is always surprises me. But
yeah.
yeah, but yeah, it's one of those ones that will continue to grow, and you've got to be there. You've got to be on it.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think what we're saying is brands need to be thinking about social first, in my
Yeah,
opinion, moving
exactly. Yeah,
forward. That content needs to be driven towards social first. And basically, what you're saying is if you're not discoverable on TikTok and you're not shoppable, you're not going to be playing with anyone and you're going to be invisible in
so
that element.
yeah,
Yeah.
you need to make it as easy as possible for your customers to find you, and buy your product.
Yeah.
You know, you can be on TikTok and you know, but if you've not linked your Amazon page
Yeah.
to TikTok, then you know
Yeah.
you're giving them extra work to do to try and find your product.
Exactly.
You know, make it seamless. Best
Yeah.
way.
Great. Thank you, Ashley.